Good evening. You're watching Chris on Real Talk for the first time in an absolute age due to circumstance. Unfortunately, it is what day is it? It's Wednesday, the 1st of June 2022, and I'm joined by this handsome fellow, Francis. Can I call you Frank or just is it Francis?
Of course you can. Frank, if you want.
Frank? What do people
Yeah,
normally call
sure.
you?
Frank.
Frank.
Well, usually if you want.
No worries. So anyway, you've been a long-standing supporter of my channel. Which I really
Mm-hmm.
appreciate. And it's been nice having your comment on everything from buses to the weather, basically. It's been an absolute pleasure talking with you. I can see Roy West is here, JBM Travels, Transport Industry Vibes. Everyone's joining me, which is nice. Now, I'm assuming you've heard the latest about our wonderful Mayor of London and whoever else has made these rash decisions regarding the London bus network. Mate, what are your views? What are your views on the
Yes.
16 buses or routes that are getting the chop?
Well, it's not going to be easy for passengers to use because that's why I'm thinking concerned, especially the 24 is going to be taken over by the 214 that's extended to Pimlico
Hmm.
and also the 388 to Peckham, 148 to Dulwich instead. That's why
Yeah.
they're replacing old route.
And
What do you think?
what concerns me about that 148 to Dulwich is the fact that that 148 is a very long route anyway. That
Yeah,
route goes from Shepherd's Bush,
Shepherd's Bush. That's right.
to Camberwell, which is a long enough route as it is. Doubledeckeranton is here. He's going to be joining uh, at some point. But when that happens, I'll change the screen because everything's going to be different on the live. In fact, tell you what I can do. We can change things over somewhat. If we go like that, go like that, we go like that, then we're looking a bit more professional. Yes, we are. But yeah, so that's a long route anyway. So extending the 148 to Dulwich is just going to put more stress on those drivers. And I can say
Yeah.
that from a driver's perspective, and it's going to cause yet more driver fatigue,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Absolutely.
I don't know.
What if it operates by Go Ahead London or Belly Open Woolworth? Because that's what I'm thinking.
I,
What
I,
do you think about
I don't know. I think if Bellio or Go Ahead were to win the 148 on a
it? Yeah,
tender, that is a very,
yeah.
very, very big route. But I'm
Oh,
not sure. I mean,
oh,
I'm actually shocked that the number 12 is actually being taken
yeah.
away because there's no
I am as
real
well.
direct route from Peckham to or even
Yeah,
Camberwell to Oxford Circus unless
yeah.
they have to change.
Unless they have to walk from Westminster to Trafalgar Square on the
Mm.
148.
It's a tough one. It really is. I mean, I
Absolutely.
think it's my own personal opinion, so people can shoot me down if they like. But I think it's a
Okay.
mixture of Sadiq Khan and whoever else is in charge of TfL just
Yeah,
wanting to get money out of people by forcing
yeah,
people to get off the bus sooner and change onto a different bus, more tapping of the
yeah.
Oyster card. It's just that's what I
Mm-hmm.
think.
Mm-hmm.
I could be wrong,
Yeah.
but I'm not. I've never been a fan of Sadiq Khan, so
You never. Yeah, you never know. I don't like the Sadiq Khan or Boris. Who knows
no.
about Boris? I
I've
don't
got.
like Boris.
I tend to comment quite a lot on Boris
I
Johnson. In all
just,
fairness,
I just don't want to do that Boris because he's all fake. He's stupid.
yeah,
He's always stupid.
he doesn't make the best decisions in life, and then when he does make
No.
rubbish decisions, he ends up lying about it. But to be fair, that's all politicians for you, though, isn't it?
Oh yeah, you get what I mean. How's it going at Orpington Garage? Do you
Well,
like it?
for those who don't know, I am going to fill people in. Actually, thanks, Frank, for reminding me. Over the last month and a bit, I've been
Oh,
on a bit of a transfer. I've got on loan. I'm on loan to Orpington Bus Garage, Green Street Green,
yeah,
operated by
I know
Go
what.
Ahead, the wonderful people that
Yeah.
employ me. So I'm on loan over there at the moment because I thought
Okay.
I'd just have a bit of a change of scenery. At the end of the day, I've been driving the same route for 11 years. I just wanted something different, um, just to broaden my horizons. And to be honest with you, it's a really, really, really nice place to
Mm,
work. You've got a lot of routes out there, a lot of single
yeah.
decker, low frequency, but it's just a different pace out there because you're out basically near the countryside. Um, I know the route that I drive out of that garage, the
Mm.
358 in particular, is the one I drive out of there. And although it's a long route, it does go quick. I have to say, it does go quick. Farnborough Village, says JBM Travels. Yep, I go straight through Farnborough Village. Um, Charlie Wells says Sadiq can't. It's very true. Sadiq can't do much. I was going to say a different one then, but I'm not going to swear on, or try not to swear on a live today. Lee Jones, good evening. RJM176. Hi, Chris. Hope you're keeping well. I'm very well. Hope you're keeping well too. Um, so, Frank, would you like to
Yeah,
please let people know
sure.
how you're involved with Transport for London? How do you fit into the Transport for London bubble? Tell us about yourself.
So, yes, I'm Francis. I used to work for Transport for London within the rolling stock and the CSA gate line for London Underground before. Now I'm with London Transport Museum within a similar role,
Hmm.
also with the Bus Museum in Brooklyn. That's why I'm more passionate and get involved, do more shifts in case people are not available. That's what I'd like to do.
This is,
Extra shifts if people are not available.
you see, I like that because that makes you a very customer focused individual, and I can tell that.
Yes.
That you enjoy what you do, and you do it very well from what I
Yeah.
see that you put on social media. You've always been
Yes.
enthusiastic about the
Yes. Mate.
transport industry, and I love that, And there's a lot of people
Yeah.
just like that, or just like you with that sort of work attitude,
Yeah.
especially with enthusiasm towards the transport industry, especially within London because it is world famous. In fact, I've been to the
Mm-hmm.
Transport Museum a couple of times since we've known
Have
each other,
you?
and I've looked out for you, and I've never seen you. So,
Oh, I never seen your face. You should bump into me, you know.
well, I'll probably bump into you in Penge at some point, as you say you live on Thicket Road, so you probably jump on my
Yeah,
bus at some
that's
point.
right. You on a 227 or
No, I'm on the
354, 358?
358. I don't do 227, but I am on the 358. So I'll keep.
I
I'll
know the
keep.
whole routes of two. You know, I know the whole routes of 227, 208, 354, 358, 352, and
Oh dear. I
also
wish I had that sort of
136.
knowledge then, because if I had that sort of knowledge, I'd have a lot more under my belt to drive.
Also 176, 40, 185, 155,
That's a talent, mate. I
12.
wish I haven't got the head for route learning. I wish I had
Oh, man.
that sort of knowledge. I'm
I'm only
just
32 years old and I still remembers it.
Oh man, I don't know how you do it. I mean, there's a driver
Me,
that I know personally. You probably spoke to him
really.
on the forums. Tricky Mickey or
Right.
Mickey Webber. That's
Oh,
he knows a lot of
yeah,
routes. I'm
yeah,
impressed by that guy. I mean, if I knew that many
yeah,
routes, wow,
yeah.
I
Don't
wouldn't
call him
be
Mickey
short of
Mouse. People
anything.
won't like it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
Don't call him Mickey Mouse, yeah? He won't like it,
No,
trust me.
he's all right. I've called him a lot worse than Mickey Mouse, and I've got away with it. But no, he's all right. He's all right. So Sarah's random video says, "Is the Transport Museum accessible for disabled? Please." I can answer that. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It is wheelchair accessible from when you go in. There's a ramp that goes around to the right hand side and bears round to the left. There are elevators, and it is a excellent place to be. And if you get there at the right day, you'll have Francis here to my left on the screen. You never know, you might bump into him, and he'll give you the grand tour.
Yeah,
He knows exactly what
yes.
he's talking about. He's a good man. So
Well,
yeah. So moving on, um, or getting back on topic with what's going on with these bus cuts. Did you see this coming? I mean, I'm going to talk very specifically about the Route 12 because obviously that affects me and my livelihood. Because obviously most people know that is the bus that I drive. That is my bread and butter when I'm not on loan to Alpington. Did you see this coming, or was it a complete out of the blue shock for you?
I think it's just a blue shot as well as completely outcoming. That's why I'm thinking it's not going to be easy for passengers, otherwise, just in case they complain.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah, see, for me, I'm a bit of a 50-50 on that because I overthink things personally. I overthink things to the point where it's actually quite scary how much I get right. So, back in February, Transport for London made the decision to chop um, essentially half the buses off of the Route 12. increasing the headway from a 7-minute to a 13-minute headway, which is devastating for passengers that need to get to and from central London from that part of London, Peckham, Camberwell, East Dulwich, and so on. But not so much that, it's more devastating for the 16 drivers that were displaced. And I have to choose my words very carefully. They were displaced. They were put into different garages, or they were put onto different routes, or they were made spare. So none of them lost their jobs, thankfully, that I'm aware of anyway. But that's still their livelihoods, which were put on the line. Unfortunately, the rest of the buses on that route, along with other routes, and I have got the list here, it's going. And the thing is, when they done that, when they chopped that many drivers off the route, I thought, this is the start of things to come. I know this is going to happen. They're going to end up cutting the route because it's just what happened. And the thing is, I'm also predicting, with the amount of buses that are going, 16 bus routes, I believe, I think that before 2023, there are going to be a lot of strikes. I think the union is definitely going to start pulling their finger out a little bit, and I think there's going to be a lot of strike action. But personal opinion, I can't say it is going to happen. I can't say it's not going to happen. I'm not inciting that to happen. It's just a prediction. I'm just looking forward into the future. This is what could possibly happen. What do you reckon?
Strikes are not going to be good for drivers. Oh, trust me.
Well, strikes are not good for drivers because we lose money for striking that day. However, I believe it's always for the greater good to go on strike. I mean, look at the Underground. They go on strike whenever the coffee machine isn't working. They end up with a pay rise. So it is what it is. Zachary UK Transport says, that's cool, Chris. I always see the 358. Well, look out for me and let me know it's you, because I don't know who you are, what you look like, but I know your name is now Zachary UK Transport. If it's you, let me know. I'll always say hi, the same as Francis here. If I ever see him on the street, I'll be beep beep on the old horn. Give a wave. It's always nice to see people. I love seeing people. It's very rare that people see me and go, "Are you Chris?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Are you Chris from YouTube? Yeah, a little bit. I don't have that many subscribers, but I do love all my subscribers. You all mean a lot to me, and it's nice when someone sees me and recognises me, because it means a lot to me.
What I'm saying is that you? I'm like, what if the people went, what? That's a bit rude. I hate it when they do that. Like,
that's the thing is that doesn't bother me. It really doesn't.
No.
It is what it is. Unfortunately, the thing is, well, not even unfortunately. Fortunately, it is what it is, because if someone recognises you for the right reasons, then obviously you're doing something right. If someone recognises you and goes, "Are you Chris, the person who done such and such?" Then yeah. Listen, I'm going to bring Anton into the chat. Let's change this over to window capture, and we'll turn this off. There we go. And we should have Anton on the screen. Let's bring that to about there. There we go. We've got Anton. Doubledeckeranton.
Hello, Chris. Nice to see you, mate.
It's good to
just come back from work.
See you.
I'm just having a cup of tea. I got my hot water from work still in my flask, so I'm going to...
Hi, Anton. How are you?
Everyone? It's Francis. Hello, Francis. First time I've seen you face to face, but I've seen your messages.
You're actually cut off slightly on the bottom of the screen, Anton.
I've just learnt a route, and I just did a normal duty, so it's about 12 hours. So I'm feeling good, yeah, and I'm off tomorrow, which is good because I thought I was working, but it's bank holiday, so I'm good.
Good. I'm glad.
But my fish tank light broke. My fish tank light broke, so it's all right. And
man, I'm sorry to hear that. It's never nice.
It's all right. It's happened a while back. Things happen in life, and you just deal with it. I know.
Well, these things do happen in life.
It's good to see you, Chris. Honestly,
it's good to see you too. I haven't seen or spoke to you for quite a while. I'm still alive. I'm still around.
Yeah, I've not been in the south since beginning of March. It's funny, 10 years driving in South London, and it's actually nice driving in North London, because I was actually afraid to work in North London because something made me think, I don't know, the drivers don't look happy here, but it's
the
opposite. I've actually been yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to see that you're happy. You know, I mean, you're on loan. I don't know if you're going to sign the contract. As myself, I'm on loan in Alpington. Funny enough, at the moment.
Yes, I can
So,
remember that you actually said a few weeks
You at
ago.
Northumberland garage,
so say that again.
Yes,
Frank?
I am. Yeah, I'm just at
I've been to
NP, and
Northumberland
yeah,
when I was working TFL. I went to the Victoria line depot, literally next to the Go Ahead garage, which used to be first.
yes, I think so. I think it was Tower Transit or first. I'm not quite sure.
It used to be first before it was Go Ahead in 2012.
Yeah, it's been nice to actually learn some new routes.
Yeah.
I've kind of become a little bit brain dead because I've got. Don't get me wrong, I like my Dulwich to Aldgate that eventually become Clerkenwell route. I've enjoyed that for nearly 10 years, 9.5 years, nearly, and then I've been on loan, and it's been nice. I've been asked to go on loan twice before. I said no. Again, it was fear. It was like, no, I'm kind of, I don't want to say I'm comfortable, but it was like, well, no. And it's nice to actually have been driving new routes, meet new people, drivers, passengers, different buses. In fact, I'm driving your bus, Chris. I'm driving the Boris bus 5 days a week. I still haven't driven an electric double decker yet.
Right.
And a old right-bodied Volvo, which used to be on the 12s years ago.
Have they still
King's
got
Cross.
those?
They're on King's Cross.
Because I know a lot of those WVLs and WHVs went over to New Cross and the 171s.
Yes, I was looking forward when I came over to work with you that I'd be driving those. But then they moved them, I think, maybe within a year just before I came over. So 2012, I wanted to drive an old, well, I won't call it an old right-bodied Volvo because I drove them at a Bellio. They're the 2004-5 models. The 2010,
Gemini
11,
Eclipse.
12. Yeah, that's the one. I did drive a 9-litre one at First Bus in Huddersfield back in 2008, 2009, only once or twice. So it might be a similar bus. Obviously, it was just single-door operation, you know. But yeah, let's get me peppermint cup of tea.
Oh, I do like peppermint tea. So, Doubledeckeranton, it is an absolute pleasure to have you here. What are your views on the latest bus cuts announced by TfL and the Mayor of London?
I've only been literally looking into it the last 24 hours.
Well,
I was shocked that actually your route is actually what I was thinking of you. When they mentioned your route, I was like,
I can tell you exactly how many routes there are. There are 16 routes, and I'll tell you what they are as well. It's the route 4, and I've got all the routes here and all the reasons as to why they're allegedly going as well. So I've got the route 4, the route 11, the route 12, the route 14, 16, 24, 31, 45. The 45, man.
45. I used to drive that, and
yeah,
then
so did I. 72, 74, 78, 242, 521, the C3, the D7. Yeah, but you'll love
242. The drivers today on the break were actually concerned that 242 was being cut. I don't actually use it at all, but I know that because I can get 243 up to North London from Shoreditch. You know, when I've worked to South London route, I get like a 35 into town, into the city, and then I get a 243 or a 149 out. But 242, yeah, the drivers were concerned. They were like, "No way, that can't be cut. They can't cut that." Because they need to get people out of the city. So I think maybe there's not enough people coming back to work in the offices. Work from home. I don't know what's going on. People, they want to get people back in the city, and then I don't know. They're cutting.
Well, this is what
I don't know what.
In regards to the route 12, I can tell you now the reason given by TfL. It states here. Reasons given to us why TfL wants to simplify the bus network around the Walworth Road to cut back the number of buses in central London to better match demand. That's what they say. And it says, what would replace it? After Camberwell Road, Medlar Street, the 148 would turn left and follow the old route of the route 12 to Dulwich Library instead of terminating at Camberwell. So basically, instead of terminating at Camberwell, it would turn left at the shops and then follow the route to Dulwich Library.
Because that goes the same way to Westminster.
Yeah,
as the
but
12.
What gets me about that is that's already a really, really long route. and that's just adding yet more miles and more possible fatigue onto drivers, which is not a good thing.
Well, no offense to 148 drivers. I know quite a few personally. I just know that if someone says, which route in London would you say the drivers look the most unhappiest? I've always thought 148 drivers look. I don't know why they just don't look very happy. I think there's maybe not as much time on the route, but I know
I think they're tired.
that route is
personally.
tight and it's Shepherd's Bush all the way to Camberwell, and the 148 drivers, I've always felt look really stressed or not happy or not even friendly or waving. And I thought,
No,
what is
I
it?
think it's because they don't get a lot of stand time. It's a very, very, very
That's what I
long.
mean. I really feel for him. I really
Yeah,
feel for
and
him.
to give them more work like that just isn't fair. You know, now I'm going to tell you what my view on it is. Instead of what TFL's reasoning is, I'm going to give you what my interpretation of it is. My interpretation of it is they cut the route back. They lost half the fleet on the 12s. Obviously, we lost 16 drivers, didn't we? Unfortunately, that were moved to different routes and put on spare. But I reckon it's down to revenue loss, personally. So they can say what they like. But in my own personal opinion, and I'm not saying this as fact, it's just personal opinion, I've got to choose my words very carefully. In my personal opinion, it's because of the loss of revenue that TFL were deciding to cut that route. Now, in all fairness, I understand the reason why, because those Boris buses are ridiculous for people getting on for free, or trying to at least. I don't let people get away with it personally, because I tend to take my job a bit seriously, especially when 16 of my colleagues were moved to different places. So I took that quite personally. But it comes down to revenue.
Well.
Yeah, it comes down to revenue inspectors. TFL shot themselves in the foot with this, and they
I like
stitched us up.
inspectors.
Yeah, there are revenue inspectors, but last I spoke to the revenue inspector, or a revenue inspector, sorry, I'm not going to mention his name. He's a really nice guy. He said they were over 20 inspectors short. Because they just couldn't afford to pay their wages. So, in all fairness, if TFL have lost that much money, I'm blaming Sadiq Khan for that, for not sourcing the funds properly to finish off Crossrail. You know, you can't you can't blame that on Boris Johnson.
I've never been the mayor. I know that's a tough job.
100%.
I don't want to say I don't want to say. I mean, I know I've heard lots and lots about the mayor and this, and he's done this, he's done that.
Well, I'm going to have my opinion.
I know that. I've never met him. In fact, I remember seeing him. Was it Suffolk? I was driving a bus and he crossed over, and and I remember I once beeped him. I think it was near Aldwych, and I waved to him about 4 years back when he became mayor. What was it? 5 years, maybe 5-6 years ago. But yeah, I don't. All I know is that. I mean, I don't know. It's funny. Boris is now the prime minister from being the mayor. You know what I mean?
I don't know. They're all a bunch of idiots.
So it's like, in a way, who's to blame? Who do we point the finger at? I honestly, this is something that, for me, I don't have a lot of experience in, with politics. I just know that accountability. It's important that people are held accountable.
Yes.
Basically, there has to be account. That's all I'm thinking of. There has to be accountability.
I agree with you.
But and also, I don't want to point the finger. Not that I'm not saying I'm not greasing up to anybody. I just know that we need to have accountability for everything in life. Example: if a driver has a bump, you will have disciplinary. You can't have drivers bumping buses. If someone, like, I know that, I don't know if it's me, but the last year or so I've seen more. Looks like more bus crashes, on viral videos. Whether it's because more people have phones, I don't know. But I know that
people like posting that sort of stuff. The thing is, I'm all for accountability, but politicians need to understand when they're wrong and they get caught out as knowing they're wrong, to hold their hands up and not just be accountable for it, but say, "Look, this was my mistake, and I'm sorry." I mean, look at Boris Johnson.
Boris, it's disgusting what he's doing.
Boris Johnson
disgusting
recently,
that no accountability.
He's been caught out lying to the public. 100%, and he'll say, "Oh well, I did not know I was misleading Parliament. I didn't know I was breaking the rules." Yes, you.
Boris
did.
is a liar. We all know Boris is a liar.
We all know Boris is a liar, but
Boris is a liar.
liars.
We all know that. Boris lies.
It's not about accountability. It's about owning your mistakes and actually not lying about it. But I personally think, and it is my personal opinion, that it's because of the loss of revenue, because of the lack of revenue inspectors out there, in order to collect those fines and those fares. And also, in regards to 16 of these 16 routes as well, it is a small percentage down to the drivers for failing to collect your. I'm not blaming the drivers entirely. A small part of that is down to drivers just not giving a damn and letting people go. You know, and I have to say that because that is my
I know that
opinion.
we do press fare evasion. I know that I've been, you know, that new button that all the drivers press if someone's obviously evading a fare. Is it number 5 or whatever? You know, we press fare evasion on that little screen. You know, and I know we didn't have that over a year ago. You know, so again, I don't know.
On the MDT,
because there were. Is it because there's less inspectors? So now we have that to do it. I know it's extra work for us, but if someone's like I've had a lot of issues, I do miss my my Clerkenwell to Dulwich route. I'll be honest, not absolutely miss it, but I have. It is a lovely route, one of the best routes I think in London that I just happen to have been put on, and I know I've been doing some routes here up in the north, and I've been learning 2 routes yesterday and another route tomorrow. Don't want to go into too many details, but for me, I want to have variety. I want to learn, but I know that, like I said, it's accountability. I mean, the mayor's obviously got cuts to make, whether he can get the money from the government, example, if the government's not going to give the money to the mayor, like I'll give you a classic example. A few years ago, I know some people who lost quite a lot of money through a company in the north of England, obviously where I'm from. It's called Serious Minerals, and it was weird how the government was supposed to somehow help out. I don't know if it was 150 million, and it was about 80,000 people had invested, most of them locally, and they'd lost. Literally, this was a couple of £100 million. Everyone lost out, and I think Anglo-American company from America came in and bought it cheaply, and I thought there was something very dodgy about this. Because I just feel there's a lot of corruption everywhere, and I know people who shouldn't have lost out on this. And for me, I realise there's corruption at the highest level, and I'm not pointing any fingers. I'm just saying that all I know is that in my lifetime, I've seen there's less and less accountability. People seem to just get away with things, but obviously us on the bottom, we're held accountable.
Of course,
and I know that it's sad that
the way it goes.
I know there's lots of changes going to be taking place, and those routes now. I mean, it's I kind of thought it's nicely timed that you're doing a live video on this, but I realised that actually, with you driving 12, and I even thought if buses get automated one day, I always envisioned Route 12 would be the first bus to go automated.
But the thing is, this is what gets me. I always was under the impression, and I've always thought this over the last 11 years, that the Route 12 was one of those big routes. It's one of those famous routes, It's like an elite route that would just never go anywhere. Just quickly before we press on with this discussion, I would like to read some comments out and get some answers from yourself, boys, because we have got some comments.
Well, I've not read any comments, or I've not. Yeah.
No, well, I've got them all here. I've got them all here, and so you've got Huds Boy says, "How's it going, Dazu?" Sam Stevens says, "Interesting. Alpington is my local when I'm not at uni."
That's my brother. Sorry.
Is that your brother? Hey, lovely.
No, he calls me Dazu. I call him Dazu. It's just a name we had for years. Okay. Only my brother says that to me. That's my brother. Dazu. It's just a thing we say when we were young. Only me and him know that. It's my brother. My
okay, brother. Nice to see you, Anton's brother.
Hi, Anton.
Jill says, it says, Huds Boy says, "Hi, Anton." Jill says, "Hello." JBM Travel says, "Crush, you seen the new P4?" I think that's Chris. You seen the new P4? I haven't.
P4 is that you mean the bus route?
I don't know. JBM Travels. A question for you, Anton. Says, Anton, you've been on the no mirror bus. I think it's the with the camera mirrors. Have you been on any of those?
Yes, because I do Turnpike Lane to Chingford and occasionally, and actually that one's got. In fact, they've actually got a mixture of long buses, which were from I think it's the 521, or they were from I think Waterloo Bus Garage that buses had to be moved around, as you know. This was many months ago, so a lot of people have had retraining for the long bus and the short bus on that route. So I have been driving. In fact, the other bus at our garage, what is it? The Elephant and Castle to Royal Albert Hall, South Kensington. That one has got, I think, long buses and short buses on as well. Is that right? The ones with the different mirrors.
I couldn't say
Or
that.
you
I don't know.
do you not drive that? Oh, you just stick to 12, don't you? Sorry.
I just did a 12 out of Camberwell and I only do the 358 out of Alpington.
I got, you've been there longer than me.
I think we've got
And you just do the one
another
route,
relative.
yeah.
We've got Sabansky 87 says good talk.
That's my cousin Marcin. That's Marcin who helped start my channel.
Hey, fantastic! See, so
I only spoke to him an hour ago. I said I'm going. I'll be going in.
Ultra, I know exactly who Ultra is. Ultra says we're told just let them on and press fare evasion on iBus. You see, that's all well and good letting people on and pushing fare evasion, but no one does anything about it. The only people that can do anything about it is us as the drivers, and it is our job. Otherwise, we wouldn't have a ticket machine at the front. It's as simple as that.
I press fare evasion.
You see,
every time.
The way you have to look at it, the way you have to look at it, and I do. Sorry, I'm sorry for interrupting, but if someone goes to Tesco's or Sainsbury's or any supermarket, picks up all their shopping and goes, "I lost my bank card. Can I take my shopping?" That ain't gonna work, man. It isn't gonna work. No. You get on my bus and say, I haven't got my Oyster card. Well, you're gonna have to have you got an alternative method of payment, please. That's £1.65 on a contactless. No. If you haven't, then you say, are you refusing to pay a fare? If you say yes, then you have to make them aware that if an inspector gets on, they will get a fine. Because if an inspector does then get on, it's a case of they're going to say, oh, the driver let me on. No, the driver did not let you on. You walked past them after they made you aware you're going to get a fine. You then refuse to pay a fare. But you have to ask people to pay their fare. I'm sick to death of people saying, I lost my Oyster card. Did it jump out of your pocket?
It does.
Standards have dropped a lot the last couple of years. I know it's lack of discipline, lack of respect. If we were in Japan, there'd be a lot more respect on the bus than here. It's just the way England is.
You took the words out of my mouth, Anton. We don't, as bus drivers, get any respect because to the general public, we are just stupid bus drivers. And the thing is, they don't understand that we're not stupid.
That's why I did my YouTube. I did my YouTube
highly educated people that choose to do this job for a living.
Yeah, that's why I started my YouTube. I wanted to do that many years before because I wanted a voice. I felt like I couldn't speak. I have a voice. I'm not saying we're seen as some dumbed down person, but I just feel that bus drivers don't have a voice.
No, we don't.
The reason I started doing my videos is because I just wanted to talk about things. Because if I don't talk about things, I get affected. I get anxiety and all that, you know. Yeah. And I know that for me, it's been nice to have done this. It's nice to see you start your channel. All the other drivers that have started or taken breaks from the channel. It was nice just to see a lot of drivers talk about stuff. We need to talk. It's like Bob Hoskins, you know, the old BT advert. He said it's good to talk.
It's good to talk.
And
it's good.
Yeah, and it's like you know, I've actually missed doing these live videos with you, Chris. I know we did them about 1 to 2, 3 years ago, and I was looking forward to that maybe being on every fortnightly or monthly basis. But I know we've all got busy lives and things happen, things change, you know. But I'm looking forward to doing this again with you, you know. But I must say, I press when I'm driving my bus. I'm glad I got the fare evasion because that for me is like, right, the person I'm paid, I want accountability for that person who didn't pay. Classic example today, guy got on that I was looking for. Yesterday he got on the back door. I could see him. I'm driving these 3-door buses. I shut the back door. He gets on. I said, come here, mate, as people are boarding. And he's very good with that. Blah, blah, blah. He opens up a bag of coffee. I've got to sell this coffee, mate. I could see about loads of Nescafe. I thought he's nicked him. I'm not going to tell him. But he's nicked him. And then blah, blah, blah. I eventually let him on. He had to go somewhere. He was desperate. Today, I'm looking at the same stop, same time. He didn't get on. But then a guy from the front dashed over. And I realised, it's him. And he pushed in front of everybody. He said, you're the guy yesterday. You're the driver. I said, yes, I am. Get off my bus. How dare you push in front of the passengers?
Can I just say one thing?
I chucked him off. He had to get off the bus. He said, don't shout at me. I said, I have the authority. Get off my bus, mate.
Well, you can. How dare you? You're allowed to refuse people. You're allowed to refuse someone.
Some people stress me out. Some passengers, but I had to throw him off.
If people are rude to me, give me attitude. I don't care whether you pay your fare or not. I'm not letting you on. It's as simple as that. That's like a dog pissing on the carpet, then you're giving it a biscuit. It's rewarding bad behaviour.
Well, do you remember that guy who got on your bus? He pressed the button. I remember in South London, he pressed the button. I was on your bus about 2 years ago. You just pressed the button just to get on, and you stopped the bus, or, you know, opened the door and said, "Off, mate, I ain't moving." Because end of the day, when they press the button to get, when they press the button, they're kind of they're authorising the bus. It's like, oh, you're the bus driver now. You've just stopped the bus. You're getting on.
Reply to a comment that Ultra made here. It says Ultra So it doesn't matter what we do, it's always the driver's fault, for fuck's sake. We can't win, says Ultra. Ultra, look, it's not a case of it doesn't matter what we do, it's always the driver's fault. It's not always the driver's fault, but we still have to do the job to our best of our abilities. So although a small percentage of these routes being cut is down to drivers, and it is a very, very small percentage, but we all have to do the best we can. I know it's easy to say I'm just a driver. It's easy to say I'm just a driver and I just sit on my backside and go up and down every day. But the thing is, we've got a job to do. Whether we like it or not, we still have to try and do it the best we can. So if we have to ask people for fares... We've got to stick to
procedure as well.
Yeah, we have to stick to procedure. And the thing is, TfL will always say... The thing is, look, you've got the garage rules and you've got TfL rules. Right, the garage will always say let people on, and that's purely because they don't want the paperwork.
Exactly.
Right? TfL will always state you must ask them for a fare. I follow the TfL rules because I operate a bus for my company on behalf of TfL to collect revenue for TfL in order to keep me in a job. It's a nice loop, so that's the way you've got to look at it. It's not a free service because these things are expensive and they're so expensive at the fact that TfL are now cutting these things because they can't afford it, which is affecting hundreds of drivers that will be losing their jobs. That's a fact. Dear. I mean, if it wasn't...
I noticed in I think wording of a letter that I read or something, it did say that drivers would lose their jobs, but I was thinking how it was worded. It was saying that, I don't know if this was because it was going to happen at the end of the year, beginning of next year, which means is it if drivers retire or obviously through disciplinary lose their job or leave? Is it through that they kind of move people around so that it doesn't...
I can't answer that. I can't answer that. I mean, there's going to be a lot of drivers that are going to have to re-route learn, obviously. And I don't do well with route learning. So for me personally, I'm in a fortunate position where I am. I can just say, look, keep me here. I'll sign the contract and stay there. And it's me taking a financial hit because that's a pay cut essentially. But it's still keeping me gainfully employed. Or bite the bullet and re-route learn on something else within Camberwell, which is something I don't really want to do. But I may have to do that as well. Let me read some more of these comments. Ross McGarry says, London bus fares are so cheap compared to other places. Like, for example, a return fare from Falkland to Glenrothes is over a £5. Journey only takes 20 minutes. You see, now in London, you can get literally, if you time your buses correctly, from one side of London to the other for £1.65. And after, it's like, if you change before the hour, after your first fare, the next bus you get on is free. So anyone...
I'll be honest, coming from a northern point of view, right? I'll be honest, coming from a northern point of view, the fares up north were expensive. The ones in London were very cheap. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying we've had it so good in London. I don't know why the mayor or whoever hasn't put the fares up. And I know you might think, oh, Anton, why are you saying this? No. Hear me out. Because the fares, to be honest, 165, 175, 185, 195, £2. Look, you've got to keep the drivers in work. But the fact is, the fares should have gone up anyway. The fact that you can hop on and off a bus for 165 within an hour is unbelievable. You do that up in Yorkshire.
It's insane.
Mate, you're paying
anywhere near that, anywhere else in Europe for that matter. The fares are really cheap.
And speaking of Walworth Road, there's 10 routes going down there, which is unbelievable. You get a bus every minute. It's unbelievable. Yeah. There's so many buses down there. There's about 9 routes going down. One turns off.
And apart from the 42, they all go into Elephant and Castle. Francis.
They do, yes.
Francis.
Yes, mate.
In regards to the way you travel to and from work, how do you rate the transport network? I mean, how do you use it on a regular basis? What's your usual go-to on a frequent basis?
I usually take the tube and the overground as well.
Yeah. So you mix it up.
Can I just say something?
Of course you can.
About bus drivers. I usually follow the TfL's policy, respecting the rules. I just say to customers, if they say to me, is it free? And I'm like, no, it's not free. You get reported penalty fare. I just say, no, you can't enter without a ticket or pass without money. I just say, if you haven't got any money, that's it. Game over.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'll report to my manager.
Yeah,
always follow the rules, follow the policy, and everything. Otherwise, it's a zero tolerance.
Exactly. But the thing is, though, we all have to understand. Going after you. Sorry, I do apologise, Frank.
Thanks. I also respect the TfL's policy by not drinking on the site. Otherwise, it's zero tolerance. That's why I always follow the rules. I'd like to stick to them forever.
Yeah, I like that. You see, and the thing is, as drivers, what we also need to understand is that we always need to keep our cool. Now, it's easy for bus drivers to be labelled as the grumpy bus driver, because I'm not being funny. There are a lot of grumpy bus drivers out there. I'm one of them. But we all
I
need
can
to,
be grumpy sometimes,
yeah,
to be honest.
but we do need to do what we do as politely as possible. You know, so instead of saying, "Oh, well, you know, can't take you," just say, "Look, explain to them as nicely as possible. I'm sorry, I can't take you. Oh, but I need to do this." I was like, "I'm sorry, you need to pay a bus fare.
Yeah.
I haven't got any money." "Well, I'm sorry, sir, but you just came out of McDonald's, so you should have thought about your priorities of getting home over your stomach." You know,
People do get along with,
and
get
even that
on
is
with,
pushing boundaries of sarcasm, because you could get in trouble for saying that as well. But you do need to have a certain amount of customer service when refusing people, but you have to be firm but fair. You know, I mean,
Yes,
obviously
exactly.
there are certain situations where you can let people on. You know, it's like if someone is classed as vulnerable, and that's different things to different people, because to some people everyone could be classed as vulnerable or in distress, and a lot of drivers do swing that and as an excuse to let people go. But you do have to use a certain amount of common sense with it.
Yeah, always.
You really, really do.
Also, you see a lot of rude bus drivers, like, oh, they just not have a conversation, especially when working on site. They're rude. I don't like their attitude. Otherwise, they get the sack.
Yeah.
Especially
You know,
heading out.
it's a massive,
young
massive
assistants.
balancing act with
If they
customer
have
service.
young assistants or underage as well,
I agree.
get the sack.
I agree.
Otherwise, the managers won't be happy.
I know. But what doesn't make it easy for any bus driver in London, and any bus driver will agree with me on this one, is school kids. Because school kids have attitude problems. They always have. And this is, I'm going to say it, 100% entirely down to parents not teaching their kids any good manners. It's as simple as that. You know, please and thank
starts
you
at home.
are free. It does. It starts at home. Please and thank you are things in life that are free. They're the fundamental basics of good manners. Please and thank you. You know, when a kid gets on my bus and gives me a dirty look and walks straight past me, flashing their zip card in front, well, fine. Do you know what? Fine. You know, you do that.
I like to get. I don't say I like to get people in line, but I remember the teacher getting was pupils in line back in the 1980s and 90s. Did me a lot of good, and I know that if I let someone on with as a kid or an adult, and I'm thinking, right, I've got to say something here, and I don't say it, and I let it go because it's easy. I've noticed they'll do it again when the same person, whatever, they come on, they do it again. So I realize I have to say something, but obviously I've got to say it in a professional way, again, following company procedure. And I know that I feel better afterwards if I've kept me cool, you know. But there are some characters who are, well, they're on drugs. Honestly, some nutters about.
Yes,
and obviously, the guy who spat on me back in 2014, I handled it very well. I was shocked. He spat on me.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't believe it. He
I've
did
had
it
that,
so well. He'd done it before.
Yeah.
He did it before. It was to stop after London Bridge going towards Elephant. And I was like, I can't believe this. And you know what? I was actually depressed for quite a few hours afterwards. I thought, I can't believe this.
Well, it gets to you. That's disgusting. That is the lowest form of anything spin. I've got a comment here from a person who I've got a lot of time and respect for, called Andrew Hall. Andrew, thanks for joining. I really appreciate you watching. Andrew Hall really, really helped me when I was ill in hospital, and he always stopped by to have a chat with me when he was doing the rounds. So thank you very much for that. But Andrew says, should they do it like they did back in the older days, having the driver and the ticket person as well? Might stop some people trying to jump on. And then he also says, should they bring back using money as another option? I'm going to answer my opinion first before going to Frank and then Anton. I think they should bring back a ticket hop back on the bus, especially on the Boris buses, because if people walk past the driver and not pay, then you've got another hand on there to collect those fares. But it costs money to employ those people, unfortunately, and that's something TfL didn't want to do. And as for bringing back cash, should they bring back cash? Personal opinion, I'm going to say no, because getting rid of cash was one of the best things that happened to London buses, because it wasn't safe drivers going back to their garage at the end of a shift carrying hundreds of pounds in his or her pocket, and drivers were mugged for that money as well. And you know, it's not, and it's not right. So the fact that all London buses are contactless, I actually think is a really good thing. And I'm going to pass that same question over to Frank.
Yeah. Yes.
What do you think about having ticket inspectors or ticket issuers on the bus, as well as the ticket machine at the front to collect fares?
I think that's a good idea to stop all these fare raids, especially on the 149, 345, any services in Brixton, Peckham, Elephant and Castle, Camberwell, Stockwell, Clapham, Clapham North, Clapham High Street, Streatham, Croydon, especially on 250 and 250.
A lot of South London routes. What do you think about the idea of bringing cash back onto the London bus network?
This should help customers in case they get stressed, or happily to help them if they have stressful days or sad days or complaints about no cash.
So you think bringing cash back is a good idea or a bad idea?
I think that's a good idea for customers in case they complain.
Okay, fair enough. Anton, what are your thoughts on two said questions from Andrew?
Well, so about bringing cash back.
About bringing cash back and the ticket hops.
What's the ticket hops again? Sorry, do you mean the conductors?
I'm just calling them ticket hops just because it's the first thing that came to my head. Yeah, ticket issuers, conductors, yes.
The ticket hoppers. Well, sorry, the conductors. Well, I suppose being brought up in Yorkshire, I don't remember conductors on buses there. So I know, I just know things have just gradually declined over. Like example, when I joined 2002, they said, "Welcome to the Suicide Squad." Well, back in 2002, it was a lot better than it was in 2008 and 2016 and 2022. There's just been a gradual decline. When it comes to conductors, I know I was actually surprised when the Boris bus came out. I think it was the 24 at Camden or Chalk Farm had somebody on the back, and I was shocked that wait a minute, are they paying someone to like collect fares or to watch the back door? I was shocked. Like, where's this money come from? I was shocked. I thought to myself, where's the money come? It was nice. Don't get me wrong, but I just know that obviously it's because of health and safety. That's why.
Yes.
But I know that. I just know that I don't think it's not sustainable. I know it would be lovely.
Because it costs money to employ those people, doesn't it? I've got a question here. Yes. I've got a statement here from Ross McGarry, or a question. We know Ross McGarry. He says, "I know you would let me on with my multiple sclerosis. How unfortunately makes folk like me vulnerable with having disability, folks." Now, I think what Ross is trying to get on is, would you let him on the bus, or would anyone with a disability be allowed to get on the bus? Yes, because not all disabilities are visible. There are a lot of disabilities out there which are mental disabilities or unseen disabilities. And as long as you've got your freedom pass and you show me, you don't even have to touch it on. I'm reasonable. You show me your freedom pass and I'll let you on. I don't care. Go and get yourself comfortable. I'll wait for you to sit down. That goes the same for Freedom E, the elderly freedom passes. I'll let you on before 9 o'clock. I don't care. If you're elderly and I can see you're elderly, you could show me a Nectar card and I'd still let you on the bus. For me, that's respect, because you've done your time for this country and you've earned the right to sit on my bus for free, as far as I'm concerned. But anyone with a disability, get on my bus. You're more than welcome.
Did they bring the concessionary fare? Was it the pensioner? Because I know up in Yorkshire, we didn't have pensions until 9:30 in the morning. So when I came to London 2012, I noticed that pensioners could board any time of the day.
Yeah,
is that right? And then
it was any time of day, and they changed the time. But I think,
so why is it in Yorkshire that the pensioners have had it harder than the pensioners in London?
Because
I'll tell you in exactly London, it's been amazing. Because low fares, pensioners allowed on any time of the day.
The reason
and children at 5 years old have to pay in Yorkshire.
Because
I was shocked when I came down. When they're 11, it's free.
Because
there's money. There's no money.
Freedom passes are issued by the local. Freedom D, I believe, are issued by the local council. In fact, all freedom passes are issued by the local council, and they must follow the rules set by the local bus authority. Now, I believe in Transport for London's case, the time is for Freedom E, the blue ones, 9 o'clock now. So you can board after 9 o'clock. But again, I'll let you on for free any time of day or night. It doesn't bother me if you've got a freedom pass or not. Or if
I do see a lot of if there's someone vulnerable, it's using common sense. Like another thing that I found in London is when they close the bus stops, I do see some pensioners and people who are there, and they can be there a long time if no one picks them up. It's like, no, there's a yellow flag, we can't pick it up. But at the end of the day, it's about using our common sense. An elderly person or someone who's vulnerable they're not as able to get to, say, the next stop that could be 200 or 300 meters away. And at the end of the day, I try and do my best to help people. I'm not a person who's like, throwing. When I mentioned earlier about throwing someone off, I didn't grab somebody. You can't do that. What I mean is that I have the authority to say, look, you've got to leave the bus. It's only because this guy got on yesterday. I gave him the benefit of the doubt. I helped him, and he abused that today. And I was looking for him near the back door. Out of paranoia, thinking, is he going to get on? Shut the door before he gets on. And guess what? He came across the front of the bus, like waited for me, and he got on. And I just said, off, mate. And he was very sensitive, saying, don't shout at me. I said, wait a minute, you've just pushed in front of everyone. Yeah. You're not sensitive to you pushing in front of all these people, old people? And they didn't complain because they know him. He's a regular and he is crazy. And they just put up with it. But I will not put up with it on my bus.
I've got a question here before it disappears from Pikachu 3408. Opinions on Stagecoach buying Tower Transit Lee Interchange Garage. So Stagecoach have bought Tower Transit at Lee Interchange. What do you reckon about that?
Where's Lee?
That's in Leighton.
Is it? Leighton.
Yes.
I'll take. In fact, you'd be the better authority to know about that than myself.
Is that Leigh?
No, LEA.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
Personally, it depends really. I mean, if a company buys out another company, then obviously all of those staff are saved, their jobs are kept, and obviously they'll more than likely be asked to sign the Stagecoach contract. But more than likely, a lot of them will want to stay on whatever contract they had, because I believe, and don't quote me on this, but a garage or company that takes over another company must adhere to the contracts of the drivers that are already there, unless they sign the contract for that company. But it depends. It could be a good thing. It could be a bad thing. That's down for drivers from Stagecoach or Tower Transit to answer that. Neither of us are those. I've also got Andrew Hall says again, do you think community police on buses actually help, or they should be put on buses in more areas where bus drivers have problems? I want to put Anton on that one.
Well, yes, I know that when I press fare evasion, I'm hoping that more, obviously, ticket inspectors or police actually get on the bus, because I'm hoping all this data is recorded, so eventually it's fed back into the system, and within, I don't know, weeks, there is somebody who's getting on with it. Today I actually wrote down, I saw a car drive through Wood Green, crazy, like he was a police car, but not a police car. And it was a 15-year-old Golf. I made a note of his number plate, everything, the time, everything, location, and pass it to a police when I was about 3 miles away. I waited 30, 40 minutes past it, and they actually thanked me for that, because I just thought this person needs to be held accountable for nearly causing an accident in Wood Green. And I just thought, I just thought, write it down, it's done. When you see a police car, pass it. I saw 2 police cars, I couldn't get them. When someone passed me going down towards Dalston, there was a police car there.
Dalston
perfect,
Junction.
Passed it.
Yeah.
And that's my conscience clear. I've got a clear conscience. This person could have caused a bad accident. I thought, yeah, that's police, let them deal with it. No, I've wrote information down. I said, check your CCTV, Crossroads Wood Green, 4 minutes past 9 today, and then let them deal with it.
I've actually done that, because I was driving, when was this, about 3 or 4 years ago, I was driving from Camberwell to Peckham, and just as I got up to the Peckham bus terminus, a silver Corsa came tearing up on the pavement next to me. Narrowly missed a few people, tucked in between a load of cars, went through a red light, driving like he stole it. And I took the number plate down. It was something like MK16 or whatever it was. But I went straight onto a code blue for that. Not a code red, because obviously it didn't affect myself. But, you give them the details, the description of the vehicle, what happened. The CCTV is on the bus if they need it, with the direction it's going. Because, not being funny, that car could be stolen. That is something that could be a potential accident further on down the road, and it could have been, I don't know, but you do the best you can. Ross McGarry says, I don't have a freedom pass, but I would still buy you 3 guys, a coffee regardless if I pay the bus fare or not. Do you know what, Ross? That's really nice. I think the three of us here would appreciate a coffee from anyone, really, but you don't have to
Big
do
hello
that.
to Ross. I know he's been watching my videos for
Yeah,
years,
Ross,
actually.
you
So,
don't have to do that. I'm just grateful for the
and
fact
Sarah
that
as well.
you're here.
Sarah,
And
Ross, and
Sarah,
Roy.
Sarah's random videos is here. Sarah actually says, "I think I'm
Yeah.
vulnerable. I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome and autism. I'm unaware of the first one. My
Hello, Sarah.
knowledge." But Sarah's random videos, you are a wonderful person. We do chat quite frequently on Facebook Messenger. I do enjoy our little chin wags, and I'm so glad that you're on the up and up in regards to with things for yourself. And I really do hope you and your family are really well. I really appreciate that. Roy
Just remember
West.
Sarah. Oh, sorry.
No, after you've gone, say something to Sarah.
No, I just remember Sarah coming to my meetup 3 years ago and bringing like gifts and chocolate bars. And
Sarah's
I thought,
lovely.
honestly, Sarah's got this.
She's
very,
lovely. She
I
does
know
that for ambulance
she's going
drivers, you know.
through many challenges, and she gives of herself. So, Sarah, you're just so positive. Even I think
very
leaving
giving
is it
person.
sweets on the ambulances as well,
Yep.
just to cheer up the ambulance
Hit
drivers.
the
and all
ambulance
that.
gamers. Roy West says, I remember paying 30 to 40p when I got on London bus when I was a kid. Yes, I remember that as well. Oh, yeah, it was amazing. Those were the days. Andrew says, I'm glad you remember me. Hope all is doing well. Yeah, I'm doing well. Of course I remember you. How could I not remember such a handsome guy? Yeah, I mean, I'm in remission. It's all good. Oh, yeah, and by the way, Anton, Sarah says hello to you specifically.
Oh, Sarah.
Yeah.
How's your mum? How's your mum? Yeah,
she'll answer in a sec, I believe. Transport Industry Vibe says, you think we need transfer ticket, do you think? I think transfer tickets went out the window
I do miss them, actually.
I do miss giving out a transfer ticket. However, bus hopper is the way forward, because if you've paid on... The way it would work with me with a transfer ticket is if you'd paid on my bus, I would ask you to touch your Oyster card on, and if you'd paid already, I would give you a transfer ticket. It's not a problem, because, you know, this is what...
Just for people outside London, a transfer ticket is when, example, because there's so many regular buses in London, like there could be service every 5 minutes, 8 minutes, 9 or 10 minutes. When one bus, say if a bus is late and it has to go back on time, it curtails, and you give them a transfer ticket. It's just a little piece of paper. That's what we used to do, and then they can catch not only the same route bus, but any bus that's going in the direction towards their destination. And it was quite good, actually. I know we were giving quite a lot of tickets out, and then when they sealed the cabs, it was even harder to give the tickets out. And now we don't give any tickets out. So basically, the driver after is just going to have to believe that bus has curtailed, but it will say on the headway on the computer system that bus is now gone.
However, you do have to touch your Oyster card or contactless payment method on every bus you get on. So now, when the bus curtails, instead of getting a transfer ticket, you just touch on the next bus, and if you've paid on the bus in front, it won't take the money. So it's exactly the same.
It is an intelligent system.
Charlie Wells says, breaking news, Johnny Depp won the court case against Amber Heard. So if that is true, because I haven't seen the news, if Johnny Depp did win that case, then fantastic, because I think she is an absolute vile piece of shit. I think her acting...
I'm for Johnny.
Her acting is terrible, and I think that her acting on the stand with all of and Johnny did this, and all of those faces she pulled, not once did she actually cry. All the, oh, it's so bad, Johnny did this and Johnny did that. Where are the tears? And yet the whole time, Johnny Depp referred to her as Miss Heard, which is out of respect, I suppose. But yeah, if he did win it, then good. I'm glad he won it.
What goes around comes around. So end of the day, she's been,
But what gets me about this, I'm just going to go off on a tangent now about this Johnny Depp and Amber Heard thing. What really pisses me off about this whole thing is the fact that now that he's won the case, I want him to sue her for lying, because there are women out there who actually suffer mental abuse and physical abuse on a daily basis, and they are too scared to say anything about it. It is disgusting, and there are men out there who genuinely make me sick. All right, and there are women out there who suffer with that in silence, and when they do say something about it, they're not believed, and it's not fair. at all. And the fact that she's tried dragging him through the coals for something that he clearly didn't do, she lied about it. That makes me sick, because that makes that paints a lot of women in a bad light. That's not fair. So, if you are genuinely being abused out there, and you are a woman or a man for that matter, you're being abused in a relationship, say something. Do say something, but don't lie about it, because that is the lowest. That's as bad as lying about having cancer. Seriously, it pisses me off. So I'm glad he won that, if he did win it.
I thought he might. I didn't really follow it too much, but I just felt I could see that there's a lot of memes or whatever against Amber Heard. I just realised that what is going on here.
Funny, she deserves it, because she's an absolute piece of shit. Fuck her. Sarah says, Mum says, all good. My mum says, good, Anton. She says hi to you all. Hi, Sarah's mum.
I know I haven't done a meetup for a while. I know. It was good to meet my fans about 3 years back, and I was looking forward to doing another meetup at some point. As you know, I'm bus driving, and I'm not like example, that video guy Jeff Marshall. He's a professional video guy doing transport videos around London, mostly trains and stuff. Whereas I'm just a bus driver who has a camera phone, and I just have a bit of fun. I have a bit of fun with it, and I probably became a bit more informative with it after I started my channel. And I'm glad that I managed to get out some bus videos over the years.
Give me one second.
That's all I wanted to
grab
do.
my coffee that I made. It should be cold by now. Give me 1 sec. You carry on talking.
Francis.
Yes, talk to Francis.
Yes,
so, Francis. Yeah. So it's first time. So wait a minute. Are you driving?
No.
Are you a driver? Because I wasn't sure if you were a driver or not. I didn't know. Are you?
No.
What is your? Are you?
Transport museum. I used to do object handling on the ticket collection, depot, bench, steward, customer services.
Right.
And train equipment display, and then also work at the bus museum by cleaning the buses, preserve London in general.
Because I've messaged you over the time, but I didn't. It's nice to have this interaction where we can in real time just chat, and I actually do miss these live videos that Chris does, and I know Andre, I think it was Chris and Andre used to organise these, and it was great that we could chat about all kinds of stuff, basically, I know we've got to be careful what we say as well, we can't just say whatever comes into our heads, I know at the end of the day that what's going on with these bus routes, going. I know there's always going to be changes. I even thought maybe my route could be gone, but my route is still. I thought my route could. I thought a Route 63 and a 176 could replace my route. I thought you could put a few more buses on them, and my route could be gone. I was thinking that might happen, but my route's still there. But Chris's route, no, yours is there for life, and I'm shocked that is being culled. I am shocked, Chris.
Yeah,
and I was thinking of you the last 24 hours.
Mate,
I was thinking of you when I saw that 12.
Yeah, so it's...
and Bob drives it. Bob's been on it for years.
Yeah, I know. Tell me, but there's a lot of drivers that are going to be really unhappy. Transport Industry Vibes says, how's Andre? Have you spoke to Andre?
Yes, I kind of keep in touch. I suppose it's like WhatsApp. I know that he's been in between the coaches and the buses. I know we were going to maybe get together and stuff, and I think it's just I know now he's I suppose focused on family life now, but I know that we just haven't really made a time where we could meet up and chat. As you know, when we do these videos, it was only I think Andre did a good video where he followed me around London, was it Waterloo? And that was a nice video he did about 2.5 years back. So we haven't really arranged to meet up. It's just we randomly do these videos, or we just do something on our own at a terminus. But yeah, Andre, I still keep in touch with him. I did do a Christmas video with him, and because I don't know how to edit, that's right, just because I might have a big YouTube channel, and I honestly, I'm not saying I'm dyslexic or Asperger's or ADHD. I don't know what it is. Some parts of me don't function, and I can only do videos.
Time. That's all it does. It takes
time.
I
know. I need someone, Chris. I need you to sit next to me and show me on the screen what this does.
I'll help you.
Because that's how my brain thinks. Now,
in all fairness,
my anonymous cameraman,
this is why I go live.
My anonymous cameraman and editor, he's very good at what he does.
Yes,
and I know that he's worked. He did videos for me free of charge. and I really appreciate what he did. I know now if we were going to do videos again, I'd have to pay him, because I know that, you know, like example, you know, if you do 8 hours editing for, if it's 150 quid, roughly, just something like that.
Yeah.
You know, he wanted to work with me because my channel was picking up to 2,000 subscribers, and so we that's why we ended up doing some of them very nicely edited videos. And I'd love to do more of them. And people put in the comments, "This is your best video on." But as you know, I'm not the most organized in terms of, you know, and I've started to do less what I would call editing. You know, I just do random videos. I did a video at Dalston a few weeks ago, and I don't get lots of views on my video, but that one passed 100,000 views yesterday. And I'm like, it's
I
only
wish
15
this channel
seconds
was
long.
that popular.
Yeah, but the fact is, I haven't had a video over 10,000 views for a year or two.
Well,
And I had a nice electric.
you're
I did
doing
electric
well.
bus video, and you know what? I think that could be a 1 million view video. That one of
Well,
Dalston,
I wish I was as
because
popular as yourself. I really do.
I got stuck down there. I had 2 bus stops. I did hundreds of bus stops for hours, for 10 hours. I'm about to finish my shift or go back to the garage. 2 bus stops left. The police suddenly, and I thought, I had this feeling, oh, here we go. I know what's going to happen. It's an hour. I know it will be. The amount of police, I've never seen so much police. And I was on London Bridge that night on June the 3rd, 2017, and there was a lot of police on different sides. But this, all at McDonald's at Dalston, and I filmed a lot of stuff that I haven't even put out. I've filmed a lot of stuff from the top deck of my bus that, let's just say this, there's a lot of interaction between the police and the public, and I will put that on my channel. I just need to cut and glue and put it out. Just because this video got 105,000 views now, I'm not trying to chase the views. I just know that I want to try and put something out in the right way. But end of the day, I put it out raw. And end of the day, on the top deck of the bus, the public clashing with the police came towards me, and I managed to film a lot of stuff because of accountability. And I realized after studying the videos, the people that were clashing with the police were cyclists. Now, I know you might think, Anton, you don't like cyclists. No, everyone is the same to me. It's just I know
cyclists.
But guess what? I studied the video back. There was a guy in an orange shirt, and guess what? I saw him go under a police van. I thought, why did he do that? And I realized at the beginning of this bit of video, because I moved the camera, he was on a bike. So why did he go under the van? Because somebody in the back of the van was put in, and he didn't want the van to move. All the police went towards him under the van. Everyone thought, what's going on? Why did this guy's on the floor? Help him. No, he put himself under the van, and it looked like the police were. So I'm putting this out for accountability purposes, because I chat to the police at Dalston. You know, and at the end of the day, I filmed 12 foot high on a Boris bus, some interesting stuff. And I will put that out at some point. Not that I'm trying to boast, I'm just saying for accountability. I haven't put it out. I just put out a little video that ended up getting silly views.
But you've got it. That's the main thing.
The public like this, I will put some more out, because there was what I would say the public. There are some members of the public that seem to enjoy the fracas with the police. They seem to enjoy stirring it up. Like,
word of the day is fracas.
F-R-A-C-A-S. Don't know. I can't say what the definition is. I just know that's what it was. And I thought, you guys have made me go home nearly 2 hours late. I'm putting this video out because I don't want this to happen again. And there's a lot of, let's just say, why the police getting the bicycle off that guy with the long hair? What's going on? What did he do? And all these videos, I've been filming little bits, and I realised that police have just got a job to do.
Yep,
And at the end of the day, they're like you and me. They just got the police uniform on. And I could see some members of the public clashing, and then there's the police fall down. There's the public with them. And I thought, dear me, I need to do something with these videos. But I only put a video out when the police were turned up at McDonald's, and that got a lot of views. And I realised, right, the public are interested in this, and they still are. And it's got 105,000 views now. I can't stop this video going up. I've never had a video like this ever in all my years. I realised I just documented what happened on the bus. That's all.
Yeah, but but the thing is, you've got the documentation now. You've got it. That's just quickly, Victoria Gray. Yeah. Hi, Victoria Gray.
Oh, Victoria, how's the baby? I know Victoria. How's the baby, Victoria?
Victoria had a baby, but Victoria says, "How are you all doing?" I'm doing good. I'm still alive. I'm still here. I haven't done a live for a very, very long time. I am getting back on the bandwagon. This is the start of it now. So yeah, hi Vic. Thanks for asking. I've got a question for Francis, because Francis is the
Yes,
man
mate.
I would like the opinion on. Over the next 10 years, how do you see London transport on buses in particular changing?
I think the routes are going to be affecting more passengers as long as if they would have kept the same routes for passengers so they don't complain. Because that's what I'm thinking, like, especially the electric buses. One of them was burnt out on Potter's Bar the other day because they shouldn't have used it. Because they should do safety checks before they use it. No.
Okay. And in regards to the types of buses over the next 10 years, how do you see buses themselves changing? What do you predict?
I think they should reduce more air pollution and reduce more fueling costs, move more fuel in buses around London.
Yep.
In the city.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think in the
More
next 10
CCTV cameras.
Yeah, I think in the next 10 years personally, 90% of buses will be running on electric or some kind of alternative fuel like hydrogen. And only very old, I mean, you say very old, I say buses now that are about 2 years old that still run on diesel, those would be the classed as the old juggernauts, you know. But the thing is, though, we've all seen the videos, haven't we, recently, of especially that really horrendous fire that happened in Potter's Bar a couple of weeks ago. Is the safety of these electric vehicles up to par? You know, are these electric vehicles safe? And I think that's what a lot of people are actually wondering at the moment, because for a bus garage, essentially, and God knows how many, not the garage, but for that many vehicles to go up, that raises some red flags. No, one bus went up, but it took a lot of other buses with it.
That's what I mean. It took out another 5.
Yeah,
and
you
I
know,
know that.
I mean, it's like
I know that
that
there's different makes of electric bus, so I think we've got to be careful because obviously I recognised the make of the bus that went up in flames, and I realised that.
I don't. This is why I'm not mentioning.
I don't want to mention any company names.
I'm not mentioning the company name. I'm not mentioning the brand of the bus. This is why I just said buses.
I mean the brand of the bus. Yeah.
Yeah.
End of the day,
I don't know the brand of the bus.
I don't know if it was overcharged. And like example, if I charge my phone at night, I keep it on. But will it catch fire? No, it must somehow stop charging.
Because what happens is with your mobile phone is once it reaches a certain percentage, it will just stop drawing charge. All mobile phones for the last.
That should have happened with the bus.
8 years then. But who knows? Who knows? I mean, it could have been a 40.
There's a couple of £100 worth of cheap wiring.
It could have been a faulty fuel cell within the battery pack itself.
£300,000 bus going up. £2 million worth of buses gone.
Yeah, it's scary.
But if you want a bit of wiring, is that what they're going to find out? I don't know.
Who knows? I mean, not being funny, I know there are people out there now questioning: do I want to get on an electric bus? Are they safe when the bus is under full load in the middle of summer? You know, when the batteries are getting extremely hot, how safe are those buses going to be? You know, that's something I'm questioning. Because, I mean, I'm driving the 358s currently, and in the next 6 months, all of those buses on the 358 are going electric. And there's going to be charge point at Crystal Palace bus station. And those buses, on specific duties, mind, the driver is going to be told when you get to Crystal Palace, you must charge that bus for 10 minutes before going back the other way. You know, and those batteries, I think, can either make, if the technology is good, it will either make it or it will break it, literally. So personally, I'm very skeptical about these buses being under electrical or even hydrogen power. Personally,
did you say you've got to charge the bus when you get to the terminus?
Yes, they're basically on certain duties, very specific duties. It will tell you at the end of a certain trip, you must plug the bus in for a certain amount of time before going back towards Orpington. That's how it's going to work.
Also, they'll give you a certain amount, so they might give you an extra.
So you could start
I was just thinking that if you have got stand time, you might not have much time. If you get there late,
that's what happens. So what happens is you could take the bus out of service to Orpington, start at Orpington, and then drive from Orpington to Crystal Palace, and then from Palace back to Orpington. You know, that's a good 2 trips. And on the 3rd trip, when you get back to Palace, you have to plug it in because it's not going to last the day. You know, so
Right.
that is what's going to
Yes,
happen.
yes.
Drivers, and the thing is, are drivers going to be given full training on? I know it's just a case of plug it in, but is there going to be some kind of safety requirement on the training in order to get that done?
Well, it has to be, obviously. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you
There has
know,
to be
it's
some. Health and safety is number one, because I remember when a manager this was up in Yorkshire. Thinking I worked for Centrebus or something, and I remember he said, "I'm going for something in the management position." He said, "What's the most important thing?" And I didn't know at the time. I should have said health and safety.
Mm.
I didn't. I don't. What did I talk about? I don't know. But it wasn't health and safety, and I realised I don't know if he got the job, but I remember thinking, ever since I don't know 2010 or whatever, I was thinking, health and safety is the most important thing. You know, because people cannot be replaced, buses can be replaced.
That's right.
You know, I know that there was a big coach fire in France. Was it the last week or two? Someone sent
Was
me a
there?
video of, looks like a coach, and looked very aggressive fire. In fact, that fire at Potter's Bar, it did show the fire was very aggressive.
Mm.
It was the electric bus that caused that aggressive. Again, we don't know. It's nothing to do with us.
No.
We just drive the buses. But again, you know, I'm so I'll be honest. Sometimes in the past, I've slept upstairs at the back of a bus when I've had, say, a spread over, and I'm so glad that I wasn't at that garage. Say, if you had a few hours break, what if you fell asleep and suddenly you wake up and the bus is on fire? That would be nuts, wouldn't it?
You
Wouldn't that be
wouldn't
nuts?
wake
I
up,
wouldn't
the bus
expect
was
that.
on fire, you'd be dead. Just quickly, I've got a couple of comments
Smoke
here.
inhalation.
So HCP bus comments. To be honest, I'd rather have diesel and hybrid rather than electric and hydrogen. I personally fully agree with that. Bus driver life is here. Bus driver says, "What's up, guys?
Hey, one from America.
We're good. What's going on? I hope you're good. It's good. It's good to see you. I kind of miss you. Always comment on your stuff."
What's this guy? He's going to be overtaking
I tell you what, Bus Driver Life, right? You need to go and sub to this guy's channel. The guy's awesome. I'm not even just saying that. The guy's channel
works hard at his videos.
It's just awesome. And the guy's on Facebook. Got him on Facebook. Got him on YouTube. Just go watch his stuff. Go subscribe
TikTok.
to him.
In fact, I started TikTok because of K-Wood.
Take time out of this channel. Go and subscribe to Bus Driver Life. The guy's amazing. Roy West says, Chris or Anton, as one of you know how Steve is doing in the USA. Average Steve. Now, I haven't spoke to Average Steve for about 3 months. Last I spoke,
3 months. It's about 2 years for me.
No. Me and Steve keep in contact, but
is he all right?
I believe he's doing. But I should actually give him a call. I haven't spoke to him on the phone for quite a while. But he's doing well. You know, he was toying with the idea of doing YouTube Shorts. So I think
sketch with the phone at the back of the bus. We were supposed to do that video.
Yeah, but I think he's setting up. I think he's set up a different channel alongside Average Steve, or he's rebranded. But I hope he's still doing his stuff because I haven't seen anything.
He's very creative. That's what I like. I like working
he's
with
a very
him.
creative. Thing is, he had a bit of a dry patch, the same as we've all had a bit of a dry patch, and I think that the lockdown and everything just got to him hard, man. But I believe he's good. I should actually contact him. Driving London says, "Hey, K1." So yeah, Driving London's here as well. It's always good to see Driving London doing well.
Mike, the taxi driver.
Yeah, that's right. Pikachu says, what will happen if a passenger engaged in illegal activity, for example, doing drug dealing on a London bus? Well, it depends really. I mean, if I catch someone on my bus smoking or drinking, I'm going to ask them to stop and or leave. Now, obviously, if someone's dealing drugs on my bus, chances are no one's going to know. It's as simple as that. If I'm not going to know if someone's dealing drugs on my bus, because it's something that someone does under the radar. They don't want to get caught. So, but if they are caught by an undercover policeman or woman, let's just say officer, yeah, to save anyone getting arsey in the woke brigade, a police officer catches someone undercover and they say, driver, stop the bus, then yeah, I'm going to stop the bus. It's as simple as that. And follow any instruction the police give me at that given time. Have you spoke to bus driver Taylor, says Transport Industry Vibes. I have not. Anton, have you?
No, I've never actually personally messaged him. I know I message, Mike Driving London on WhatsApp. But Taylor, I know Taylor's been following Mike with the subs and the views. It's funny. Taylor's just literally right behind Mike in terms of the way that, it's good to have, when you're building a channel, it's good to have other people that are working at something. It just helps you kind of focus. But no, Taylor, I've not actually met. I don't know if I've waved to him. I know there's more and more drivers doing YouTube. It's, so I have lost contact with just about, apart from maybe might watch Kayvin's videos, but Bus Driver Life, Mike Driving London. He's a taxi driver I watch as well on YouTube. He's blonde-haired guy, and in fact he was filming his customers, and I thought, what's he doing? He's going to get in trouble for this, and he had to take videos
Just
down.
quickly,
because I had to take stuff down as well.
Bus Driver Life, do me a favour, key one, just drop a yes or a no if you're in the WhatsApp group chat. If you're in the group chat, just let me know. If you're not, then obviously Anton or myself will drop you an ad on Facebook Messenger to join the WhatsApp group chat, because I think that's still there, but it's gone stagnant lately. Really, it needs to start coming back.
I think these videos are good, Chris.
What do you think of that one girl, Alicia? She's always like a celebrity, like Alicia.
Did you say James Bond girl?
Alicia who?
Alicia's from Poland.
Pass.
The blonde.
Pass.
Did you say? I thought you said James Bond girl. What did you say?
No.
Say again.
Alicia.
Oh, sorry, Alicia, the Polish girl who got on my bus,
the
172. Say goodbye to the 172 video I did 4 years ago.
Yeah,
that was I suppose I wouldn't say I'm a big bus enthusiast. I was a bus enthusiast when I was young for Yorkshire Rider. That was my passion for buses then. In London, I'll be honest, I drive a bus and I love just doing fun videos. I'm not like a really big bus enthusiast. Alicia is, and I think she's bought her own bus. I like the fact that she's very good with taking photographs. She's very good at photographing buses. She goes everywhere to get the last photographs of a bus that's going to be changing company, or and the buses will be removed. So Alicia, I've not actually spoke to much. She's young enough to be my daughter, probably, isn't she? You know what I mean? But no, I've not messaged her in a long time. But I know that she's very enthusiastic about buses, and she's definitely involved in the bus industry.
When I was a teenager, Chris.
Really?
Mad into buses. Yeah.
That's good. It's good that you're into that.
Is this Alicia, you mean?
But that's why I'm passionate.
That's
I'm
good.
always kind, honest.
The thing is, I pick up on that. The fact that you say that, you don't need to say that, because I can see that just by how you are and your enthusiasm for the industry as well. I mean, I can see you're a kind and genuine person. And do you know what? There needs to be more Francises in the world. There really does.
Yeah.
You're very welcome.
You got a good heart, Francis.
You have got a good heart,
Thanks.
Frank. There needs to be more Franks in the world.
Yes.
If anyone has a problem,
Absolutely.
talk to Frank.
Is it Frank or Francis? Is it Frank or Francis?
Just call me Frank.
I had a friend in Australia I called him Frank. It's 20 years ago, but on Facebook he's called Francis. So it's quite funny. I called him Frank, but he's called Francis. So it's like Francis here.
Well, the thing is, before you joined, I actually asked Francis, "Is it Francis, or do you mind if I call you Frank?" It's just polite to ask, because if I just said hello, Frank, and he didn't like it, it would have been a little bit rude of me. So I thought I'd ask first, because everyone's different. It's like you can call me Chris or Christopher, although generally I'm Christopher when I'm in trouble. Or Mr. Stavely when I'm really in trouble. But it is what it is. So Transport Industry Vibe says, what do you think about USB ports for, I think it says portable, but I think it was a typo, ports for buses? I think USB ports on buses are a good idea. However, it does bring up the issue of people spending more time on their phone on the bus and missing their bus stop. Also, for me personally, I'm not sure about the wattage that goes through those USB ports. So if it overcharges your phone or damages the USB port itself, then that's on you, unfortunately. So it's a bit of I haven't used them myself, so I think it's a good idea, but it raises its own set of questions, or problems. So it is what it is.
Is this for the USBs on the seats?
USBs in the buses on the seats to plug your phones or electricals in. So I don't know how much power that draws from the batteries.
I've carried these. Look, I'll show you these. I've got. You see these? I've got these
power bank.
chargers.
Very, very handy.
Yeah, one in the car. I've got you know, I've always got a few because I always need to make sure I don't run out of
Anton,
battery.
out of curiosity, what is the power? What is the battery capacity on those? Because if you've got one, I'll buy one off you.
Well, I'm kind of constantly using them. I've got one in my car. I've got two. I got the cheap Chinese one, which is good, which is powerful. Where is it now? I think they're between. I think it's 16,850 mAh and 26,000. This one here.
For those who don't know, mAh is milliamp hour.
So that one here, this one is this one only has like one USB. Like obviously, there's some you can put, you know, two in or even.
And by the way, how are you getting on with the Scooby? You liking?
I thought you would know about this technology stuff, Chris.
Oh yeah, I know about that, but I'm trying to find a decent one, and every time I find one, it's
I've been trying different ones. I always have RAV Power for years, but then I decided to get. I think there's one called Anker, Anker, and there's I can't even see what this one is. Just go on Amazon and look at all the reviews. I look at reviews,
you
know, all the comments, because from that you can build up a good picture of what is a good product. And I've always chosen RAV Power, but they seem to have vanished. RAV Power, I don't know what's happened to them, but this Chinese one, I don't know if it was even 16 or 18 quid, but that one is, I think, I don't know if it was 22, 23 pounds. And sometimes they have these offers or promotions on Amazon. But yeah, these are great. I have one on charge. When I come home, I put the other one in usually every 2 days. And if it gets down to, say, example, when it gets down to, I need 4 or 3 lights. If it gets down to 2, I'm not risking going out of the flat because I couldn't go to one light and then I'm going to end up running out of battery.
Yeah, I suppose I hear
wherever.
So,
you know, and so, yeah.
Just quickly before we end this live, I'm interested to ask you, how is your Scooby?
Oh, don't mention I haven't said it what car I've got yet to everyone. So
okay, how are you liking your car? How are you getting on with your? Because I've got my new car now, by the way.
Yes, you have. Yes, you have.
I have got the new car. I've changed it again.
My other car, my Volvo. It's sad that it doesn't really get used much, but it has been the best car I've ever owned for 15 years. But my Japanese car, my dream car for 27 years. In fact, I filmed myself going up to North England to Whitehaven. I didn't expect to have a lot of issues with it because silly me, I trust people, don't I? And even though I kind of spoke to the person, you know, who I bought the car from, yeah, I did. I thought, you know, I'll give you a quick history of my cars. I bought a Citroen 2CV 1997, 1,150 quid. I did spend a few grand on it, new chassis and all that. I didn't really know much, and they're very basic cars. So it wasn't really a proper car. I remember getting, my dad gave me his old Volvo, which was kind of good for many years. And then I got that was a 740. I got a Volvo 940 for £1,000 15 years ago. Amazing. I just thought, oh, right, if you spend £1,000, you're going to get that kind of car. This car was 9,500, so it's going to be a lot better in it. But what I didn't realize is the Volvo was 10 years old when I bought it. It had done 80-something thousand miles. And Volvos are very strong, whereas the Japanese car is obviously a little bit, even though they're well built, still can be cheaper in build. 9.5 grand, but it's not 10 years old, it's 23 years old. And it has taken more abuse than my Volvo. And let's just say this, the previous owner, he showed me all the receipts. Obviously not until I got there. I believed everything, you know, there's loads of receipts. I thought he would have spent the money that I thought he did on the car because he said it's meticulously maintained. And basically I've had to just replace a lot of things on it. Not the engine, you know, because I know that was rebuilt, you know. It has been the best car I've ever owned. It's up there with getting me big television a few years ago. It was like, wow, I've waited 27 years for this, and it's just great. I absolutely love it. But yeah, there's things that I thought, you know, currently trying to fix the air conditioning, you know, and yeah, you know, fix things like your new battery, you know, starter motor. Obviously there were new tires in it, but obviously I must have gone through some tires, so you know the way I've driven it. So yeah, I've had quite a few bits. There was a fuel leak, or fuel was leaking out. He said cars, you know, the car supercars kind of, or whatever, sporty cars, they can smell quite rich or whatever. I just was a sucker. I didn't know anything about cars, and if I would have taken, say, Tricky Mickey up, he would have told me everything. He showed me. Well, he said that he's done something here. Well, look, I can see because I'm a welder. Look, he hasn't, and I didn't know about this, and I just was gullible. I can't say I regret getting the car because it's a limited edition, so it's very hard to find one like this.
It's a learning process, though, isn't it? It's the learning process.
Yeah,
but in all
I don't
fairness,
regret buying the car, but it's been a headache, and I know I have to pay ULEZ, but I don't drive it much. It might be every 5 or 6 days. I might not drive it for 10 days.
But to be fair, though, it is your dream car, and without saying
it was your dream car.
Without saying exactly what car it is, it still is a car. If I had the space and I had the money and somewhere to park it and work on it, it's a car I wouldn't mind owning. In all fairness,
I'll let you drive it, Chris, one day. I will.
Well, to be fair,
because I did when I found out it was your dream car. I was like, no way.
To be fair though, I reckon off the line, in a straight line, I reckon I could do you. If I put my car in sports mode, how
much does your car weigh?
It doesn't matter how much it weighs, mate. It's got electric.
It weighs a lot more than mine.
It's got electric torque behind it, mate. I'll do you off the line in any.
Possibly, yes. All right, but I'm just saying that
it's got a 2.5 lump in it.
I like the fact that mine's just. I like. There's 4 things I like. One, I like the way it looks. Yeah, don't say anymore, please. I like the way it looks. I like the way it sounds, which is the best bit. I like the way it sounds. It's the best because people love the sound. I like the way it handles, and I like the way it is obviously very fast. And I know Teslas are very fast cars now, so mine is kind of not seen as fast. But everywhere I drive it, people seem to smile and give me the thumbs up. It's a bit like my YouTube channel. People say, "Hey, you're the guy of YouTube." So actually, the car for me. Even though someone did reverse into the front bumper and damaged it, which is there was a guy around the back of the garage at Camberwell. He said he'd do it for 150 quid, and he's very good. So I haven't got around to doing it because it's not an important thing. It's just visual. It's just paint, and I've done a bit of paint myself. I did lacquer.
There's someone in our garage.
Paint.
There's someone who I know.
I know that guy as well. It begins with SH. Yeah.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
SHE.
Listen, look, it's not. What we'll do is I'll get you in contact with him. I'm not going to mention his name, but he sorted me out when I needed help with my Qashqai, and he done a fantastic job on that. Not a problem. So I'm pretty sure if I point you in his direction, he'll do you a solid.
Okay.
Because
it was just I wasn't doing this job as an emergency. It's not. It was the fact that I was trying to sort out. Like example, I've had welding done. Yeah. The fuel leak sorted, the brake pipes. Oh man, I can go. I mean, even I had to get the caliper, new tires. Let's just say this: after spending $9.5 grand, I thought, right, it's going through its MOT months later, and shocked to find out that I had to spend. All right, the $5.5 grand I've spent. Yes, I did put. It's nice to. I never really had the sound system, so I'm never been into sound system. But it was nice to put an old style CD with speakers and all that, and then I put a steering lock on it and tinted windows. So that came to 1,200 quid. So the extra 4,300 quid I didn't expect to spend, but I knew that with this kind of car, I realised that the previous owner was the way he worded stuff. He has really. I just realised that. Why did you lie? Why did you lie?
Let's not say the word
to sell
lie.
The car.
Let's not say the word lie. Let's just say he.
I've been hurt big time the last year.
Let's say he possibly made a dishonest statement in regards to the vehicle that you're currently driving. However, you've now got that car and it's being loved, and that's the main thing.
But just to let you know, I tracked down the previous owners. I won't mention where they live or whatever.
That's fine.
I tracked down because that's what I do. I like to research stuff, even though I didn't research the car because before because I just fell in love with it. I saw it and I thought, oh man. And anyway, and because I was in the pandemic, whatever, I was thinking, I just need to cheer myself up. I'm going to get this now. And anyway, but it's been a learning curve because I found out what's been wrong, like a subframe. What's that? What's a subframe? Why is it costing £1,000?
You see?
Yeah, but weld it. It's cheaper. Weld it. It'll last a few years, so I saved money there. But the fact of the matter is that I tracked down the first owner, right? It's called Tony. Went to his house. It was dark. This was in December.
Don't drop
right?
names.
On the way up to Yorkshire, right? Guess what? I pull up, knock on the door. No one there. A car pulls up. The guy, I could see energy. I thought this guy must. He said, "I said, are you Tony?" He goes, "No." well, that's his car. I said, yeah, but he sold it in 1999. This was weird. And he goes, yeah, but that's Tony's car. Well, he's not in it. I've knocked. He says, he don't live there anymore. He moved 15 years ago. And I laughed. I thought, right, I've given up where he's going to be. But I want to track the second owner down.
Find out the owners of
the
their
second
car.
owner is called Paul. He's owned the car 14
That's
years.
strike
he spent
two.
£8,000 on it.
Don't name drop.
No, it's not the full name. The fact is, I found out where he lived. I pulled up. I thought, this is weird. I don't pull up to someone's house I don't know, right? But I pulled up in the car. It was dark, because it's out in the middle of the sticks. And I knocked on the door. I lay down. Said, excuse me, sorry to say, but does a blah 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 live here? He goes, yes. He goes, all right. Just let you know, I've bought his car that he sold in 2013. And he said, oh, the one he sold for 250 quid to his nephew. I said, no. I bought, and I found out my car he sold because he wanted to help his nephew out, who always wanted it for 14 years. He sold it for 250 quid. She said that. He said, no, it was 500. Anyway, it was 250 to 500 quid. I couldn't believe this. Because back then the car was worth a lot less. It was worth, I would say, 3 or 4 grand then, 2.5, 3 or 4 grand. Anyway, right? Anyway, he said it was weird. I heard a noise thinking that's my car outside. I thought, don't be silly. He said, you know what? I was thinking of tracking down my car and buying it. And when his wife said, do you know how much he's paid for it? And he went, oh, he bent back like, when the nutty professor, the big guy, when he laughs, he bends back and goes, ha, like that. Well, this guy was like, oh, like this. Good, because he had that car for 14 years. And I said, yeah, but I've actually spent 5.5 grand on it. He went, oh, so he knew he wasn't going to buy it back. So he was actually saying he would like to buy another car. He said, I sold it to my nephew. I said, what's his name? He said, oh, his name's Lewis. I said, Lewis. I said, wait a minute. The previous guy that I bought it from up in the north, who was called James, he bought it from Lewis, whose uncle died. He was selling it on behalf of his uncle.
The plot thickens.
Now, I thought, what is going on here? I'm finding out some weird history with my car. So, and guess what? When I spoke to Paul, he says, well, when I wanted to get the car back, I said, how's the car going? And his nephew had said, I've sold it. And he was annoyed with his nephew, who he hasn't spoke to really since. So I reckon his nephew sold it for a few grand to this guy up north, who thought, I'm going to keep it for years, show all the receipts and paperwork that's with it, and make it look really nice and beautiful, because it did look beautiful. Everything looked amazing. And he's the one that made a killing off me, probably. I reckon he probably bought it for 2.5, 3.5 grand.
Who knows?
Sold it.
And stitched you up like
But you know what? I don't regret it. I've learned so much about cars from everything that's gone wrong. And if I would have bought a car for half the price, but that wasn't a limited edition, and not had as many problems, I wouldn't have found out about how to repair cars and stuff. But anyway, it's a bit like having, like I said, remember on the electric bus video where I said, it's a bit like, I said, the bus has got bad brakes. It's like having a girlfriend who's lovely, but then now and again whacks you over the head with a baseball bat. But you're still with her because she's amazing. And that's how the car is. I love this car. That's why the Volvo doesn't really get used. And it's sad.
Just a quick one.
Sad.
Just a quick one. Pikachu says, are pets allowed on London's buses? Yes, they are. Frank, in regards to cars and London's congestion charge and ultra-low emission zone, firstly, do you drive a car?
No, I don't. I'd love to one day.
Secondly, if you did drive a car, what car would you like to drive? And can you give me your opinion on the congestion charge and ultra-low emission zone?
I only can drive an automatic car, which is easy, and also the electric car in London's capital city to reducing the air pollution. That makes it easy for the city.
Fair enough. Not a problem. So the congestion charge is a good thing or a bad thing?
Depends on if it's good or bad. If you have to pay for it, if you pay for it too much, then it's a bad thing. If you're not, it's a good thing.
Yeah, I suppose. It serves its purpose, but there's still a lot of congestion around, unfortunately. But it is what it is. Anyway, before we go, I'd like to just say thank you very much to Frank, for joining me today. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much for joining. And thank you very much to Anton. Really appreciate you taking the time and joining me and having this discussion. It's been an eye opener personally on getting everyone's opinions, and it's been a privilege having you both on. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Can I just say about? I didn't answer the question about cash with Francis. I've handled cash for years, and it's nice not to handle cash anymore. I'll be honest, and not to carry it around. I'll give you a classic example. I know a bus driver up in Huddersfield. He was a Polish guy. Left the cash on the bus, went to the toilet. I don't know if it was even in the pub. Came back, cash was his cash was stolen. You know, and I know that I don't want to go back to cash at all. I remember even drivers. I remember when the staff toilets in the bus station in Huddersfield closed. The drivers had to use the normal toilets. They'd put the cash bag on the floor and they'd do what they'd have to do. And they thought, wait a minute, my cash could be stolen. This isn't safe. So they had to start using disabled toilets for safety so that they could go to the toilet, put the cash down somewhere safe, you know. So I realized that cash is, I still like to handle cash, don't get me wrong, in terms of if I'm buying something, whatever, you know, I pay for things by card usually. But what I mean is that the good thing about cash never failed. Someone could pass cash. How much you need? 50p here, mate. Oh, right, ticket bought, done. Now there's problems with sometimes cards not working. It doesn't show. It says pay usable. Some weird stuff going on. So I'll be honest, cash was always 100% before. It always worked 100%. Someone could hear, here's a pound, mate. Forget it. Everyone gets a ticket. Now it's like with the cards, they can have issues. People get on with phones and the battery's gone. I'm like, I don't know if they're genuine or not, but what can I do? So cash always worked, but it's just the fact that things are changing, as you know.
It's evolving.
And
it's evolving.
Cash isn't coming back, Francis. I'm not saying, you know, I'm just saying it's the way things are going. And
yeah, that's what I think.
Cash did work, but it was heavy carrying it around for us, the driver. And it's nice not to cash in at the end of a shift. And I once cashed in 850 quid when I sold monthly tickets, doing a 184 from Huddersfield to Manchester. I'll never forget that. 850 quid. And I thought, this is a lot of money here.
It's a lot of money.
And I'm so glad nobody knew I had that amount of money. So it's not good. So cash has gone in terms of boarding a bus. And all I would like to say is if any passengers are watching, please carry an Oyster card that you don't use, put £10 on it so that if anything else fails, you use it. I keep telling passengers this.
That's right.
Because they say my phone battery's gone. A lady got on today. She goes, can I come back? It says 13 minutes. I put the wrong password in. I trusted her. She came back 13 minutes and it worked. But what if an inspector would have got on?
Exactly.
And that's what I mean.
So you always
that's what I like to say. Anyway, thank you, Chris.
Keep yourselves topped up, basically. Anyway, thanks again, boys, for joining me. Really appreciate it. I've been Chris. You've been watching Real Talk. Love you lots. See you later. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye, everyone. Thank you. See you again, part 2. We'll do another video soon.
We will.
Yeah.
Get some more guests on, other drivers, or you know, people like Francis on, and it would be nice to have.
That'd be really nice.
Yeah.
See you, Chris. Have a good night.
Bye.
See you, Chris.